Well, you're welcome to another edition of the Diaspora on NTA. The 2016 National Migration Dialogue, held in Abuja, Nigeria's capital territory, was declared open by President Muhammadu Buhari, represented by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. It engaged state and non-state actors, civil society organizations, the academia, and other interest groups to a two-day conference on migration governance issues in Nigeria. Our paper presentation by the Presidential Assistant on Diaspora and Foreign Affairs, Abuja, also engaged this episode of the program. Also in this package is a studio discussion with our ranking Nigerian Diasporan and former ethnic advisor to the governor of New Jersey, United States, which will no doubt add value.
There is the need for us to transfer these things here, but Nigeria have to find a way to attract their own.
Our Diasporan of the week will further lend credence to the positive narratives that underscore the Nigerians diasporans for a more robust engagement with this country for national development. Thanks for joining us on the Diaspora. My name is Ogechi Paul. Now, the 2016 National Migration Dialogue, organized by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, with support from the Global Program on Migration and Development of the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, has as its theme coherence in migration governance, managing migration and displacement, the way forward. What the Presidential Aide on Diaspora and Foreign Affairs, Abuja, did with the platform provided by the 2016 National Migration Dialogue with her paper titled Diaspora Engagement, Practical Guide and the Need for a Clearer Policy Direction was to situate the potential of the Nigerian diaspora in its professional and other competencies to drive national development processes. Diaspora Nigerians in the context of our paper are legal migrants living abroad. Titled Diaspora Engagement, Practical Guide and a Need for Clearer Policy Direction, she copiously situated the potential of the Nigerian diaspora, which boasts of diverse professional competencies, citing the examples of China, Japan, India, Mexico, Rwanda, the Philippines, and still counting.
We have millions of Nigerians excelling everywhere in the world. And if one Nigerian is in prison, 10,000 are doing great things all over the world. And I think we should celebrate those doing great things all over the world while we try to intervene and stop the ones doing the bad things. And when we talk about doing great things all over the world, I mean, America, as we have heard, has described Nigerians in the diaspora as the most educated immigrants anywhere in the world. Yeah, that should make us very proud. Just recently, we heard of Dr. Ogunlesi, who's on the Trump Economic Advisory Team. We read about Dr. Lutoye. You know, when you take your presidential jet to America to service, it's serviced by a Nigerian when it gets there. So why can't we just have something here and bring it home to have him do all these things?
In 2015 and 2016, diaspora remittances are in tens of billions of dollars.
According to the World Bank and the IOM, Nigerians remitted $35 billion. That is huge. That is more than all the internally generated revenue from Benue State and other 35 states in Nigeria. In other words, more than what every state in Nigeria put together ever generated. More than what any aid we could get from all countries put together could ever give us. And I keep saying that Nigerians in the diaspora have perhaps been saving Nigerian economy from collapse without our even appreciating it as we should. And they can do much more, and they want to do much more, but we need to engage with them. And that is what we've been trying to do. And like I said, we're recording some success stories.
It should not, however, be lost on government, she noted, the imperatives of standard infrastructure and other governance, security, political, economic and social issues that will combine to engender an environment of mutual engagement with diasporans for national development.
So the challenge is, why aren't we engaging enough? Why aren't we having them, be more involved in what we're doing? But the good news is, yes, we're making progress and we're achieving results.
These push and pull factors, she said, have tasked the overarching objective for a national policy on diaspora and a diaspora commission.
We gathered together at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where we indeed articulated a draft diaspora policy. I'm proud to tell you that in a couple of weeks, that policy will become an official document of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So we're hoping that the Senate will pass the Diaspora Commission bill. Why do we need a Diaspora Commission? 26 countries have full ministries for the diaspora, including countries in Africa. So to have a commission, a one-stop agency to deal with diaspora matters, I think we need it at this point in time.
Governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, was represented at the event by the Deputy, Benson Abonu.
When you talk about attracting diasporans back home in Nigeria, I don't think you mean that they should relocate and come and live with us. Neither are you saying they should come home and let us sit over a keg of palm wine and a plate of pepper soup. What we are saying is they should come and add value to the lives of Nigerians and to the economy of this nation. And so, as I talk to you, we have two companies that are organized by Benue people who are in diaspora that are going to put in place one 30 megawatts and the other one 50 megawatts of electricity.
The theme of the 2016 National Migration Dialogue is policy coherence in migration governance.
Information and news updates. Visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
A studio discussion with our ranking Diasporan. He is Albert Okigwe, was former ethnic advisor to the governor of New Jersey, United States. He was also commissioner, Economic Development Commission, City of Maplewood, also United States. He's a chartered accountant and a real estate developer. Mr. Albert, it's a pleasure to welcome you on the Diaspora.
It's my pleasure.
So many stories around the diaspora, but one basic fact is that everybody has known that the diaspora is a very strategic and a very serious potential to the growth of this nation. Do you agree with that?
Oh, sure, I really do, in the sense that there's no serious nation that wants to develop that wouldn't look for the human capital. Human capital is the basis of any economic development and wealth creation for any nation. Nigerians abroad constitute one of the highest educated immigrants anywhere, and affluent too. They live in affluent areas to prove that they've made it.
Yes.
We have professionals in all fields, in medicine, in pharmacy, nursing, accounting, finance, law, administration, architecture, name it. Nigerians are there, and they have made their mark. It's not just Nigeria recognizing that. Their host countries respect them for that. Forget about some few Nigerians that try to spoil our names.
Of course, those
but
must be very legal ones.
A country like United States, in order to get us, still throw out what they call visa, a lotto, so that you can just play the lotto, win, and come. They need you because they know that these people it's a lot of work for them. It's human capital. So we have contributed so much for the development of our host nations. And Nigerians are ethnic people. Ethnic people, I've been an ethnic advisor, I know who an ethnic person is. Ethnic person will leave his country, but his country will never leave his brain.
Interesting.
He's always thinking home. He wants to return home. Now that it's Christmas, if you go to the airport, or every plane is packed full, Nigerians coming. Why? Because they love this country.
They do.
Even though they left so many years ago, almost every year they come home. Because this is where they call home. Even though they may build the best home there.
I agree.
Now, Nigeria has the responsibility because Nigeria need them, really. This country is going through stuff. You need all the experience you can get, all the professionals you can get.
That's true.
That are yours. Sometimes Nigeria make a mistake by going after expatriates, paying expatriates so much, when their own sons and daughters, some of these expatriates work under them.
Well, you said it's a mistake they are making.
It is a mistake in the sense that they pay them. They pay the expatriates well. But when the Nigerians come, they want to pay them peanuts.
Why are they doing that?
Because
they think
think that you are a homeboy.
It's a low-hanging fruit.
Exactly. You're a homeboy. They don't think you have a lot of responsibility like that expatriate. You understand? And they respect color too. Nigerians are color influenced. It shouldn't be like that. I have been to so many offices. I could be sitting in that office. If I could go back to New Jersey and bring one of my staff, in fact a junior staff who is white, he will go to see the minister before me.
Okay, but how do they treat you? How do they treat you abroad, over there? What kind of treatment do you get?
You see, that discrimination is there. But when they know your value, they stop. They treat you differently, but when they know your value, they respect you.
Okay, now so
that is why Nigerians get appointed to places. Nigeria is a deputy mayor of Newark. You understand? They appoint you because they know your what. We have the professional connections, private and professional. When you have connections with the Western world, you have the knowledge, you have the experience, you have the skill. There is the need for us to transfer these things here. But Nigeria have to find a way to attract their own, because it's very important that they find a way to really attract their own.
Now, yes, you have made the point now. Now, but Nigeria, this government, I want to believe, is also making effort to attract its own now.
Yes.
Are there missing links in that effort?
Okay, they are making efforts. Take, for instance, the president they created the office of the personal advisor to the president on diaspora. I mean, believe me, nobody knows diaspora affairs than that lady. She really knows our affairs.
Okay.
She's making efforts. She, like this diaspora policy. There is this effort she's making us about
Diaspora Commission now.
Diaspora Commission.
Okay.
In the House. In fact, she started that one when she was in the House. But they keep delaying things. There's too much bureaucracy. This country has no time. They really have to move. The world is moving at a very high speed. The world cannot wait for nobody. They have to borrow lead from countries like China.
Yes.
In the year 2000, China made it it's like resolved to use, when they established what they call the industrial park all over China. Who will run the industrial park? They had to go for the diaspora. All those their sons and daughters overseas, running industries overseas, they went to get them at all costs.
Consciously.
Consciously. And now, what is happening? China is the second largest economy in the world today.
And also
if you they are doing it because they went to get their own. Nobody can work for you better than your own if you motivate them.
That is interesting.
Yes.
If you were in that program, you were the National Dialogue.
Okay.
Where Abikadabri presented the paper.
Yes.
The paper was, I think, very copious, in the ways that things should happen.
Yes.
But there were other observations you also made in her paper. What government should do, certain things. It would appear that there are some lapses, some areas that need to be fixed to be able to really attract the diasporans. What do you make of that? Okay.
When we talk of diasporans, they are Nigerian diasporans. We are talking of about 50 million people. This is no joke.
It is not.
When you talk of Nigeria political zones, it's only 6. Only few of them will be 15 million. That is in terms of population. Now let us go in terms of the economy. How much did Nigeria get in oil this year? I'm not sure if it's up to 20 billion. The way oil is sold this year.
Is it in naira or dollars?
$billion. We are talking about dollars.
I see.
But the diasporans up to November have remitted 35 billion. This is not a sector you can be hitting with small gloves. You should go full force to get these people attention, to get them invest here, even if they don't come home. Work on their minds so that they will invest here. That investments you need. But for that to happen, there are certain things you have to put in place. Number one, Nigeria have to do whatever they had to do to make electricity steady. If you don't, people cannot come here to establish factories. Industry is what industrialized nations. It's industry, isn't it?
It is.
You cannot run an industry paying 40% on power alone. Therefore, you cannot compete. You know the comparative analysis. You cannot compete with somebody who is importing it from China.
That is true.
Therefore, your industry will collapse. Nobody will want to invest in a place he's not sure he's going to succeed.
That is true.
Make profit.
I think that's common sense.
That is common sense.
Yes.
Another thing is this. There is this organization we call NIDO, which I'm a member of. NIDO means Nigerians in Diaspora Organization.
Okay. See.
Here, they think that NIDO, they can do so much with it. But let me tell you, we have organizations that are more powerful 10 times than the NIDO in Nigerian affairs. In fact, look at even
overseas.
Of course,
okay.
the Super Talk Igwe League, the Owerri Association, the MBC, whatever they call it. All these associations of Nigerians.
And they cannot come together under the umbrella?
Well, they cannot come together under the umbrella. Maybe they don't want to. But Nigeria can harness through them.
It.
You know what they can do? In every embassy, what is the work of embassy? They appoint one consular to be in charge of diaspora, reaching out, networking with the diaspora. He will attend like conventions of all these places, talk to them, tell them what's available here. You never know, you can attract them. Another thing they can do is use Nigerians who have returned, who have succeeded, use them to go to woo their fellows to come.
I think maybe that is where we will cut you because of time.
Okay.
And I think for the brief period we have spoken, you have been able to give us some insight where we expect that government will also play their part. But don't forget, home is home.
Home is home. Go east, go west.
Home is
not
home.
South.
If you don't come home alive, you also return even
dead.
when you die.
Oh, sure.
So we must do everything as Nigerians show a very high degree of patriotism to see how this country will.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Our Diasporan of the Week, Dr. Mrs. Isioma Okoba, a board-certified medical doctor in family and preventive medicine in Atlanta, Georgia, United States, who has 16 years post-call experience in private practice, embarked on a medical mission back home in Delta State.
I actually went to University of Benin and went to the United States of America to specialize in family and preventive medicine. When I came home to visit Nigeria, I actually went to my hometown, Ibodo, in Delta State. And so when I got back there was no medical center. The community had never had a medical doctor. And so my people had never had access to medical care. And so that made me come up with a vision to give back to my community and actually help the people with their medical needs. So that made me start the Dr. Isioma Okoba Foundation, where I come once a year, which is usually in December around Christmas, and give free medical consultation and also free medication to people in the rural community. But this really started from Ibodo, which is my own hometown. Yeah, basically, like I said, I'm board certified in family and preventive medicine. And so my goal is more with preventive medicine. And what we do is when we see these patients, we screen them for high blood pressure, We also screen them for diabetes, and we also screen them for high cholesterol. And because we know that these are the main causes of long-term medical conditions that can lead to increased morbidity and mortality, such as patients with high blood pressure really do not know that they have high blood pressure, can actually have a stroke, which we call the cerebrovascular accidents, and that can lead to long-term disability or even death. And so that's the increase in the mortality. And then we also know that diabetes and high blood pressure can also increase your risk for stroke and also for a heart attack. That would increase mortality and also increase disability. And so when we screen these patients, we make sure that if we identify those with high blood pressure or those with diabetes, we treat them right there, and then also emphasize the need for them to continue to see their medical doctors. They don't stop with us. We really encourage that they get medical care in their primary health care centers, and then also make sure they see a doctor within 1 to 2 or 3 months, and then make sure they get their medications. And then based on this, because I knew there was an importance with continuity of medical care, I went ahead and built a community health center in my village, which I personally built. Actually, they call it a hospital in Ibodo, and this was actually commissioned 4 years ago.
That's a
And
feat, you know?
yes, it is. And I have a medical doctor stationed there, and I also have nurses, at least 5 nurses and administrators and pharmacy. And I send the medications from America on a monthly basis. And so I say to the patients, if you cannot afford the medicines when you go to your primary care doctors, you can actually come to Ibodo, where you get free medical services such as free consultation. They also check your blood pressure, check your blood sugar, and then you also get the free medications from my center. And that way we ensure that there's continuity of medical care after we come and leave in December. So every community we go to, we see at about 1,000 patients. It's pretty expensive, but I can say right now, I would say I bear the burden. Initially, when I started off, I used to bear the burden for like 100%, but this time around, I'd say like a 90% because I had donations with people coming with me this time around. This year, I actually partnered with the Delta State government, and so I have His Excellency Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, who is also a medical doctor and who was also who was the one who inaugurated the hospital I donated to my community 4 years ago, and he's partnering with us this time around. So that really helped with the logistics, because that helped us a lot with the accommodation, with the feeding and transportation and security, which is really key. And what really is different this time around is I came with medical students from the United States of America. I have 12 medical students with me from the Georgia State University. They actually belong to a group called Medical Students Making a Difference. And so these students approached me in August of this year and said they wanted to partner with me to come to Nigeria because they had seen the website and they really wanted to go to the rural communities. And so these students were able to raise funds on their own because they went to GoFundMe and all the other ways to raise funds. So they were able to come up with some money with which we I put together to buy the drugs that we're using this time around. So actually it's a partnership with Medical Students Making a Difference and Delta State Government and Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa. So that made it a lot easier. My suggestion to you, the diasporans, is they can actually reach out to their state government, and if they see that they have a very viable project, I believe the government here in Nigeria is really ready to partner with them. And I also have American students. These are people who have never left America before, and they're here in Nigeria. And if they can do that, I don't know why we Nigerians in diaspora cannot do that. It's a lot of selfless sacrifice, there's no doubt about that. And I pray God to continue to help me to continue to fund it. But going forward, since it's becoming a really big project, my plan is to start to reach out to international organizations and also reach out for grants. Those are the things I'm looking forward to come 2017 to really help, make this project sustainable.
That's our wrap on this edition of the Diaspora. And on behalf of the production crew, thanks for watching.